Recording. Okay, so tonight we wanted to focus on your avatar and what a freemium is, a little bit about how you want to work your funnel system as a coach, and a few resources, websites that you can use to help you do this. So Ashley has so kindly offered her expertise on this. And so the two of us will give y'all a little information, and we're basically coming to you fresh from Vegas, even though I don't feel like we're fresh from Vegas anymore. I feel like that was like 2 weeks ago already. Don't you?
Well, I'm still recovering, so I feel like it was
Agree.
Not as far away as I wish it was.
So anyway, we were able to get some info and just some casual conversation, but some really great tips from some great leaders that have been in the business a long time, and even ones that haven't, that have just been successful in their Beachbody businesses. And so we're able to relay some of that information to y'all. And I know we all know what an avatar is, and we learned it in our training, but I know Ashley and I had talked about this, how it was kind of more drilled down, and you were like, okay, I get it. Like, I need to talk to that person. And I mentioned this, I know, to Angie and Sheila on Coffee and Combo on Friday, but we'll kind of go a little bit more in depth with it today. So, Ash, if you are cool with starting with, the avatar and diving into that, and then I'll piggyback off you and go with the other topics, if you're cool with that.
Okay. Yeah.
Thanks.
Okay, so when we were sitting in Vegas, we were in a meeting with Melissa McAllister, which, if you don't know who she is what, number 5 in the company? Mm-hmm. I'm going to be completely honest. I wasn't quite sure who she was before we went. Don't ever let her know that. So I had to Google her to figure it out. But then I was like, oh yeah, she looks familiar. Okay. So anyway, she so graciously sat down with the group of us, she and Josh both, and pretty much let us drill them with questions. But one of the things that she made us do, which when she first said that we were going to do, was scared shitless, essentially, because I was like, oh my gosh, this is somebody who knows stuff that's going to make me say things. But she said, I want everybody in the room to go around and tell me who your avatar is. And we've always talked about avatars, and really I'm kind of to the point that if someone tell me your avatar one more time, I'm going to throw up. But this was the first time I'd really, really thought about it, really thought about it. And so I'm doing some of the free training with that Sarah Dan girl too, that Angela had posted her free webinar a couple weeks ago. I did that, and I'm actually doing another free one with her about sales this week that's already really good. But she focuses a lot on it too, because essentially she calls it your ideal client, which I like that terminology better. So essentially focusing on your ideal client so that all of the content that you're creating and all of the stuff that you're putting out there is literally speaking to that one person. So drilling it down to a point where if Angela were my ideal client, every single thing that I put on social media would be directed at her, as if I was poking at every single pain or pleasure point that I know that she has. And so it's really thinking through those things, because for me, I had always thought about, busy mom, a lot of the just really I don't want to say cliche, but a lot of the broader sense. So when I was really thinking about the beginning of it, I was like, okay, it's a busy mom who has a hard time fitting in workouts, always, is eating her kids' leftovers and all those things. But really, if you think about that, that's a lot of people, right? And so I'm sure you've probably heard that if you're speaking to everyone, you're speaking to no one, that kind of phrase. And it really started to resonate with me when I started thinking about content and really drilling down to those specific people that we're trying to attract. Because the whole point at some point is for us to not have to message people all the time, not to have to be the ones to reach out all the time, but to create content that makes people want to come to us. And that's kind of what Angela's going to talk about some with the freemium, because it all ties together. But that's where that's what I'm heading toward, hopefully, because I cannot keep doing this rat race of messaging people I haven't talked to in 4 years and then look at me like I'm crazy, or like, why are you messaging me? You haven't talked to me in forever, like that kind of thing. And so I realized that I've been literally just taking any sale that I could get. And all of the people that were just outside of who my ideal client is have quit. I mean, they've literally all quit. And that's not really what you want if you want to have a sustainable business, because even though it's great to have that initial money and the initial, success club points, in the end, it's longevity that we want. And we want people to be in this for longer than just a month or 2 months or whatever it is, because that's what creates a sustainable income. And that's what creates, for me, a more enjoyable experience. And so really drilling down to who that person is. So as I was sitting there thinking, because I actually went like pretty close to last, Angela went first. And so she like pointed at her and was like, you first. And I was like my heart was racing for her. Not that she necessarily was like hard on anybody, but she told a couple of people, like, you need to dig deeper. Like, you need to, like, people who are really successful. Danielle is number 47 in the company, I think. Mm-hmm. And she told number 47 in the company, you need to dig deeper because your avatar is not specific enough. And so, that tells you something right there. And so I really started thinking about, yes, it's moms that I'm talking to, but it's a certain type of mom that's more of the professional mom, the one that has a lot of education, because I started thinking about everybody on my team, and everybody on my team has at least a master's, because essentially you want to attract people that will be your challengers, but then you want to convert them to coaches. So you want to think down the line of, who are people that I would want to work with? Who are the people that I want to do challenges with me now that will then be amazing coaches later, and attract those people from the get-go, instead of it always being like, I'm still at the process where I'm looking at my challenge groups going, can anybody be a good coach out of this? Like, she wouldn't be a good coach. She wouldn't be a good coach. You don't want that. You essentially want an entire group full of people that the only reason why they're not coaches for you is because they say no for whatever reason, not because they wouldn't be good at it, or you wouldn't want them on your team or whatever. So I really started thinking, it's somebody who's, educated, has a degree, has a career, whether they do that full-time or part-time, that's kind of, the difference there, I think. But things like, I really started thinking about me. They struggle with getting the workouts in. And so they're probably always going to focus more on the nutrition because they feel like they can control that part. Whereas the workouts, they're probably always just going to choose whatever's the fastest. They may not even do the same program all the time just because they don't have a lot of time. So a 45-minute or hour-long workout in Coeur de Forest or whatever may not be something for them. So they may do a hybrid. They may, always focus on the shorter workout. And more often than not, they're not going to get it in every week, like every single day. So that's me. And so really thinking through that part. So then it brought me down the rabbit hole of, okay, well, in the nutrition realm, when they're thinking about these things, the thing that kept coming back is my people like to know why. My people want to know, why do we do the things we do? Or how can I improve on this? Or give me 5 steps to, be able to free up time in my schedule to fit a workout in or whatever. And so that's what ends up tying into that freemium that Angela's going to talk about, is thinking through not just who your person is, but how they operate, what they think about, what goes into their decision-making, what their interests are, all these little details that we've never really drilled down and thought about, because I think we've spent a lot of time, and I'm definitely included, spent a lot of time thinking too broadly about these people, thinking, well, if I don't go broad enough, I'm never going to get anybody. But I think it's because we're diluting our message, because we're trying to make it relate to everybody, and it ends up, you get like 5 likes on it from coaches, and that's it, because it's not somebody being able to say, that post that you just did spoke to me. And even if it's 1 or 2 or 3 people, that's the kind of reaction you want with everything that you end up putting out. And I'm still guilty of, this was part of the free group that I'm doing with Sarah Dan right now. She actually was talking about, are you putting content out there just to put content out there? I'm so guilty of that right now because I haven't been planning my content, that I've just been worried about posting something. So I just post the first thing that comes to mind. And a lot of times it's just, I mean, it's great to get interaction because you stay on people's radar that way, but you want to be what they call, it's jab, 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 hook. And so you want to be jabbing them every so often with information. And then when it comes time for the hook, which is the call out, when you actually ask them to buy something or ask them to be part of something, they're kind of prepared for that. One of the things that she talks about too is it takes at least 7 interactions with someone before they're ready to purchase from you. And so she spends a lot of time talking about our free groups and the way that we approach them. And I'm telling you, if she does this free webinar again, you'll need to listen to it because it's just really been eye-opening from that standpoint, because we've always done these like 5-day free groups and we've had 100 people in them. Well, I've never had 100, but some of them do. And 4 people may be converted. And then literally I have just let the other 96 go. Like people that wanted to be part of this free group that until I turn around and do another one a couple months later, they're just, I mean, they're lost in the shuffle. And so there may be people in there that are my ideal client. And so if I'm creating content for them every so often and offering up these freemiums, then that's how I attract them. That's how I let them know that I'm speaking to them and that I'm the coach that they need to do their challenge with. Does that make sense?
Yep.
So it was really like, I'm not kidding. Like if I had heard the word avatar one more time, I was going to like I was rolling my eyes as I was thinking, well, this is going to be interesting. But she literally had us all go around the room. And then after we said what our avatar was, she helped us come up with our content that would be our freemium, and then asked us to give her a deadline as to when we were going to have it done, like when we were actually going to like implement it. And so it's, when you're setting goals, they're called SMART goals. And so you want it to be, I can't even remember all of the specific, measurable, attainable, I don't remember the R, and then time sensitive or like time dependent. And so you always want to have a time piece to it. And so it was just really, it was really good that she did that. But it was working through that with someone else. And that's something that, I mean, at any point, I by no means am an expert at this, but I love helping people come up with ideas. I would love to sit around on a group call or whatever and just talk about, this is who I think I'm talking to, and then peel back a little bit more, a little bit more, a little bit more. Because there are people that from a personal standpoint we can connect with, or, you know, from a, like, I'm never going to attract the same kind of people that Angela does because I hate working out. Like I hate it. And I'm never, I do. I just do it because I have to. And sometimes I don't even do it, even when I have to. So it's a whole different group of people. And a lot of my people are like that. Like maybe they don't hate it as much as I do, but they're just not going to be those people that are like, I got up and did my workout today and it was awesome. And, you know, they're just not, oh, well, but we'll still have results because we'll approach it the way that we approach it, you know? And so for my people, a lot of it will be nutrition because we're science-based. We like puzzles. And so fitting the containers together and figuring out how you can get the most out of your containers. And, you know, I really want to start doing some content about like, what does sugar do in your body and why do you need to avoid it? Or I like took a picture of my oats from this morning and was I haven't done it yet, going to do a post about the difference between steel cut oats and regular oats and when you can use which ones for which and stuff like that, because my people will like that kind of stuff because they always are like asking questions like, why can you use stevia but you can't use other things, and all of that stuff, because we're seriously a bunch of nerds. But that's the kind of stuff that they like. And so that's what I'm going to put out there. And so it'll always be some sort of, I don't know, infographic or, you know, whatever. It's figuring out what kind of works best for you. But I won't steal Angela's thunder because that's part of the freemium stuff.
Oh,
so.
Okay. No, that's great, Ashley. Thank you for that. You know, I think that we're all guilty of trying to attract anyone and everyone, you know, me included, without going into too much detail about my avatar and boring y'all. What I have learned is at first I was so worried about attracting no one because I'm such a hardcore kind of, you know, I like to do hard programs. I don't like to miss. I like to get up early even though I don't have to, all those hardcore qualities that I have as far as the working out part. And I finally, I was trying not to post a video about a hard workout. I'd post a video about one of my easier ones, or, maybe not talk about how I wake up and do it early because I don't have to. And then finally I was like, but that's me. And why am I going to not post about what I do and what is passionate to me? So, I'm over that, because I don't want to, I'm not trying to attract anyone and everyone, someone that can only do, that can only walk during the week. That's not my ideal client. There's plenty of coaches for that ideal client, or for that client, you know what I'm saying? So Sean would even say, you shouldn't post that. That's a hard move or a hard workout. And I'd be like, but to me, it's not. And why should I be ashamed of it and not do what I love? You know what I'm saying? So I'm also trying to be more specific with my posts based on just what we learned in Vegas too. I'm just going to be me and attract someone that I was before I joined Beachbody, someone that was dying for that body. I would look at Oxygen magazines and I'd be like, that is what I want to look like. And so many people don't want to look like that, and that's totally cool, but I need to attract that person that's underneath those had a baby layers that wants to be that person. I wanted to be that person. And so the hardcore workouts and the no bullshit recipes that are super easy and not even a recipe, I want to attract that person. So anyway, it kind of was more of a light bulb to me, just do you and attract you, and don't worry about what everyone else may or may not relate to. So.
Well, and there was another girl there, Tiffany McFadden, that she used to weigh 250 pounds and started Insanity on her own, not part of a group. She just literally hit play on Insanity at 250 pounds. And she'll be completely honest with you. She was like, it sucked. She was like, if you've ever tried to do moves from Insanity, even not at 250 pounds, but she did it. She did it every day, and she lost 100 pounds. And so now she gets to tell people, I don't say that to say everybody has to have a huge transformation story, because clearly none of us on this call right now are going to be able to relate necessarily to that, but it's just showing that, Angela, you haven't always been able to do those hard moves. And so if you're looking for those people, they're going to look at that and say, if you just posted the video and didn't say anything else about it, it would be, oh, I'm never going to be able to do that. Yeah. But if you post the video and give the backstory about, I didn't always used to be able to do this, and now I'm really proud of the fact that I can. Here's the journey. Here's what it took to get here. You have to give part of yourself to people. I did a live video the other night where I essentially told people that it's actually kind of selfish not to share your story, just because it's so important for people to hear your story, not somebody else's story, not, their somebody else's why, but your reason, because every single one is going to be so unique, and you are totally going to hit people. You are going to find those people. And what Sarah Dan always, I'm going to quote her forever, but she always says is, there are people out there searching for you. Okay. So there are people out there looking for you to be their coach, and they're actually having a hell of a lot harder time finding you than you are finding them. So if you put yourself out there and you find ways to attract your cold market and attract people that maybe aren't your friends already or whatever, and then you start creating content to draw them in, they're going to find you, because they're literally out there looking. I cannot tell you how many times on our Oxford Moms and Tots page here in town, on Facebook, there are people who are like, I want to do a workout that blah, blah, blah. And they'll literally list out what they want. And then there are a million comments. But it's kind of like that. People are searching for it, but they're afraid to ask. They're afraid to put themselves out there. They're afraid to be vulnerable. And so if you're the one who peels back the onion layers and gives that vulnerability, they may message you, or they may comment, or they may say, hey, I want to know more. Or they may just like your post. And then that opens the door for you to start the conversation. We also heard from a lot of people talking about how some of their more like call out type posts are the ones that get more traction. So I know, I think it was Danielle just did one on her page where she pretty much was like, you know, do you want to have regrets? Do you want to look back at your life and say, you know, I wish that I had gotten healthier for my kids at a younger age. I wish that I had gotten healthier for my grandparents or my grandkids when I had time to do it. Like all those types of things. And that's going to resonate with somebody because, you know, all of us, the older we get, the more unhealthy we can potentially be. And the last thing, like I've seen too many patients that are on 15 medications because they didn't take care of themselves when they were younger. So it's just all those like little things that people need to know about. And if we're not the ones out there telling our stories, you know, about our transformations and what it's done to us in our lives from every facet, then we're probably missing out on a lot of people. So.
No, you're so right. Absolutely, Ash. I mean, those are all really good points. So do y'all have any questions before we move on? Anything else about Avatar? Anything you want to share about yours that you need help peeling back? Or do y'all pretty much know who you're talking to?
I need to work on mine, definitely. I think I need to just start from the top and, like you say, peel back and work on mine because I think it's very, very, very broad.
Mm-hmm.
I've not figured that out, or I've not gotten to that point anywhere close to it.
So you're like, let's talk about you when you were watching me. And, you know, I mean, that's who you need to talk to, is that Angie back then, you know?
And I thought, and it's funny that you're bringing all this up because I actually was thinking about that with Evelyn today, and thinking about you, Angela, and what I sat and thought about you for however many months. I sat there and said I wasn't going to do this because I don't, you know, and I wasn't the person that ever went to a workout group, and that never went to a video, and, you know, never wanted to look that way.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so I just think that like I literally need to sit down with a pen and paper and start going more specific and funneling it down to try to figure that out.
Yes.
I've got a workbook thing that Sarah Dan did. It's for the group that we are in right now, that I can share with everybody, that talks about Island A and Island B. So Island A is where your person is now, and Island B is where they want to be. And so you really think through some of those things. And then we can get together at some point and discuss it too, if y'all want. I'll just
I'd like to
share her
for
contact.
the fact that for you guys to ask the questions, you know, like I can sit here on a piece of paper and write, but if I'm not focused on what I should be focused on, or I'm not seeing that, then I'm not funneling it down like you're saying to find that person.
Mm-hmm.
You don't know exactly what to look for, or
right.
what question to ask.
Right. Well, it wasn't literally until I was going to be held accountable for my avatar that I was like, oh shit, like I've really got to think about this. Like, so I was sitting there the entire time listening to everybody else, and I was like, nope, that's not mine. Not taking anything from theirs. Oh, that sounds good. And it's mine. Like, I'm glad I was close to last. But
I'd have been like, my tummy. I'll be right back.
Yeah.
I'll be
but it's like,
back.
I mean, not one of us in that room was like anybody else. And I think speaks volumes, because everybody has, like, even people, so there was a group of 5 that were all from the same team. And so they had a lot of similarities, like I think all of them, well, most of them were either dental hygienists currently or used to be. And so, like, from a professional standpoint, some of them had a very similar thread, but then after that it branched off into all sorts of different things. And so I think it's realizing that. And so, like, they're, you know, trying to, like, my whole thing is I want to attract people that live really busy lives right now, that from a coaching standpoint, can use coaching as a way to free up money and time so that they can spend that time. Because for me, time is currency. Like, that is how my life operates. Like, time is my money. And so if I can make enough money doing something else that I love and that I'm passionate about, it can free up time for me to then spend time doing the things that I really love. So putting my degree toward something that, will bring me joy every day instead of going back to a job that was sucking the life out of me or whatever. And so I'm looking for those people because, pharmacists that's where my background is. And people that work in like retail pharmacy work really long hours. A lot of them are moms. They're stressed out. They don't spend enough time with their kids and would love to go part-time, but they can't afford it because a lot of times they're the breadwinners in their house too. And so it's figuring out, do they love to help people? Because a lot of times they do because they're healthcare providers. Hi, baby. And would they want to be on the team to do that so that they can essentially create a side business? So, are you going to bed?
Hey, Amelia.
It's late. It's 9:00 and she's just not going to bed. So, but I thought it was fascinating to me how different everybody was, and how everybody had their own people, and like, we'll all attract our people too. There are more people out there who are unhealthy and, not doing what they're supposed to be doing than there are people who are healthy and who are following programs, who are working out and eating right. And one of the things Melissa said too, that I think resonate with all of us, is that we should never be afraid to approach people with a coaching opportunity because it really is for everybody. Like, it's not just for people who might be good at it or might be interested in it. Like, it's literally for everyone because everyone should care about their own health and fitness, and then everybody should want to pay it forward. Whether or not they create a business out of it or whatever, but I mean, just even with people that for coworkers, maybe they're not post from last night where I said, did I put it in only in Life Changers about how I had my first person that told me they were coach switching? That was tough because I'm sure it's happened before and I just didn't know it, but this was somebody who legit said, hey, I'm switching coaches. And I was like, okay. But it was somebody that I probably never, it was a referral from somebody else. I probably never should have started working with her. It was kind of a disaster from the get-go, not anywhere close to my ideal person. And so it actually wasn't really that surprising. And so she's going to work with somebody who's a better fit for her. And she was very honest with me about that. And I can't be mad about that. I might be mad if they switch her volume and her SC points over to the other coach because that's going to suck. But I don't know. I can't remember how long ago it was that she signed up and if it's even still something she can do. But I don't want somebody to work with me because they feel like they need to or have to. And I don't want to work with somebody either that doesn't fit the mold for my group. And so Megan and I are in the process of changing our entire approach so that we can have content for people who maybe aren't as serious through a free group, but then making our challenge groups paid groups essentially. And so there will be content for people who, the people that we've considered, I don't want to say freeloaders, but essentially people who are every single month saying, in week one, well, I've already blown it. And then they don't say anything the rest of the challenge. And it's people who they're just not ready to make a real commitment. And so we're wasting a lot of time and energy on them. And even if I only have 3 people in a group of paid people, then I'll have 3 people. And those 3 people will get the best one-on-one coaching you've ever seen. And maybe those 3 people will become coaches, So
right.
It's just figuring some of that stuff out because I cannot keep doing the rat race. I cannot keep doing the hustle and the scramble and all of that stuff. It's just, I don't know. So I'm in the process of creating a system, hopefully, that will be duplicatable, that I can make sure I'm doing what I need to do every day, but that doesn't make me stressed out and anxious all the time.
Right.
So we'll see.
And easy.
Is it beneficial to look at the ones that are in your group or that are your you feel that are your ideal clients to try to figure out what that common thread is? I mean, you know how to work backwards sometimes. Like, you know, I can sit here and, you know, write down things about me, but to really get down to what that ideal client is, to look at the ones that are with you, that have come with you, that are still around, whether it's just like 3 or 4 people. Is that a smart way to go about it too?
So, go ahead. Sorry.
No, you go ahead, because I was going to ask her what she.
Well, so we actually just talked about this today too in that free group I'm in. So Sarah Dan actually suggested that you ask them. So you ask them what it was that made them say yes to you. So what was it about my story? What was it about my content? What was it about me that I put out there that resonated with you that made you say yes? Because that way you know what's worked for you before, because that's what she's asking us to do in this free group right now, is go back through and think about the successes that we've had and find the commonality in the people that said yes. So kind of like what you're saying, but like, what about your approach? So not just the person, but what about the situation that made them say yes? So was it, I was private messaging people, but I was private messaging people who liked a certain post that I did. And what did that post say? Or was it just cold messaging people and for whatever reason it worked, but it just so happened that the 4 people that said yes are all people that I went to high school with, have been liking and commenting on a lot of my stuff. It's clear that they followed me, you know, that kind of thing. So it's thinking through some of that, but actually asking them flat out, like, what was it that made you pull the trigger? You know, I'm going to approach it from a standpoint of, you know, market research. Like I'm doing some market research for my own business, and if you keep creating content that's similar to that, you'll attract those people.
Okay.
Telling you, this lady's gold. I will never. She literally charges like $300 for a 90-minute session with her one-on-one. So I will never be able to afford to work on her one-on-one, but I will do every free thing she ever puts out. And a couple of the paid ones, but never one-on-one. So.
Well, she obviously gives away a lot of good info.
I could never get on. I tried to get onto that free webinar, and it just never let me get onto it for some reason. So, but that's good. Thank you, Ashley.
You're welcome.
Okay, so I basically am going to go through a little bit about what freemiums are and how they can help. And I know we already talked about this a little bit, Angie and Sheila, on Friday, but basically before I even get into the freemium, you can go online and you can get so much for free. You can find out the healthiest meals on the planet, the best workouts to do, how to get better abs, how to live a healthier life, how to, you know, I mean, you can, it's all out there. But I think a lot of times as Beachbody coaches, we want to hold what we know and not share it on a specific level. We just want to kind of be broad and say, well, but if you buy a challenge pack, then you'll really get all the good stuff. So, and I mean, that's just natural and normal. You don't want to give everything away for free. You want people to obviously be your customers, paid customers, pay your bills, pay your time. And so what they were talking about on this leadership that really kind of, you know, drove it home was make something specific to you that is free that you can give people that is your freemium. So it can be in many different forms. And basically I want someone that's interested in me, that follows me, or that just found me. I want to be able to give them something for free that's going to attract them and that's going to hold their attention, that's going to have value. But then what I'll talk about in a minute is the funnel system. I want them from that freemium to keep going with me and to go into a paid customer. So you don't want it to be so surface that it's, you know, not important and it has no value, but you also, if it's free, I don't necessarily think it needs to be a 100-page document that you poured your whole life into that you're just handing out. So I think for a freemium, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do an ebook, and it's going to be short. We're talking 5 to 10 pages. That's it. Y'all know I can't even sit down and have enough attention to read something longer than that. So I'm not going to create something that's longer than that. And it's going to be I believe, I just started it, my top 5 go-to quick and easy Angela meals. I mean, I'm not going to call it that, but it's going to be for someone who is driving their kids to soccer and baseball and this every night of the week. And it's going to be quick, easy go-tos that will have a recipe, a page, and a picture of, that I took of it, something that's high quality. And I'm going to put it together. And I feel like if I put that on my like page or just put it on my regular page or talk about it, hey, email me if you're interested in getting my free ebook of my top 5 go-to easy meals during the week. I mean, I would want that from someone I saw on Facebook. Be like, oh, it's free? Yeah, send it to me. And then in that freemium, you can, really show you, make it not generic. So, like, I'll put some of my quirky stuff in it. I don't know. I still haven't finished writing it all out, but it's going to be something that's specific to me that I love that I can give to people for free. And even if I don't know them, they don't have to be a paid customer to get this. And so we talked about different freemiums. You don't have to do an ebook. You could do a video series. You could do my top 5 or my top 3 or your 15 go-to items at the grocery store. And you could say, or don't do 15 videos, but say, I'm going to put out a video a day, Monday through Friday. Join me for my next video. I'm going to give you the second thing I want to tell you about, or the third thing I want to tell you about, or fourth thing. Make it a series of something that's of value. It doesn't have to be food. It could be anything. So Josh Spencer's doing his whole Man Up series. If y'all have been paying attention to that on TNL, it's a free video series, and I think one of them was how to get your wife in bed or like something like that. I don't know. I don't remember what it was. But
how to get laid by your wife.
Okay, there you go. How to get laid by your wife. I mean, that's his market. I mean, I'm not saying people that want to, you know what I'm saying. His market is to the point, no bullshit. I'm going to cuss every sentence I speak. And he doesn't give a shit if that doesn't relate to you. If it does, great. And it's been very successful for him. And, I think that if we can just think about what we can give people that has value, that is unique to us, and put it out there, I think it's brilliant. I mean, why not? And people know you for your ebook or your Man Up series or your video series or whatever you want to do that you're comfortable with that's free. That kind of becomes your thing. So Melissa has a free ebook on the way she's very big into nutrition and intermittent fasting, and she's more with the high-fat diet. And it's hard for me to process all that because I looked at it and there's like bacon and like all this stuff on there. I was like, oh my God, I can't do this. Okay, awesome. But anyway, it's free. And then she also has a paid one that you can order on Amazon. That's $10. That's more detailed and whatnot. So, I thought that was really cool because, as soon as she tells us about it, we all go out and get a free ebook. And it's like it can just kind of spread like wildfire. And like if I'm going to give somebody the ebook that I'm doing, and then someone's going to refer someone to me and say, hey, she's got this really cool free book. Let me give it to you. They're going to read it and they're like, oh, this is very valuable. I think I may want to do something further with her. So really think about what would be something free that you could do. And, you know, Ashley, I don't know, like, have you decided what you're going to do?
So mine's going to be a couple different things, but so I want to create stuff that will be easily shared by people. So Pinterest is one of my favorite social media. I call it social media. It's kind of not, but it's a really easy and free way to get content shared. And so I like to write. And so I'm going to start blogging again, but I'm going to do a lot of content in that blog that can be easily shared on Pinterest, because that's in the past how I've gotten a lot of people viewing stuff. And so a lot of infographics, so like a whole bunch of facts all in one spot that has pictures, so that it appeals to people who think visually with pictures, but who also like to read stuff. And then so hopefully my like page is going to get launched in the next week or so. I have to create some content for it before Sarah can launch it. So now it's me dragging my feet. But I'm going to try to do a live series every Sunday. So essentially I'm branding myself as Prescription for Life. So I'm taking a spin off of my pharmacy background, and I've got kind of on my like page, it's going to be Prescription for Life. That includes healthy eating, daily workouts, and accountability as like the actual prescription. And so I'm going to try on Sundays to get on live and do what's going to be called the Sunday script, like a prescription, and give them free content, but then also have a challenge every single Sunday for them to incorporate one of the things that I talk about into their daily life. So if I, talk about healthy eating, I'm going to ask them to cut out one bad thing that they do and report back to me that they did it. So like a little mini challenge, and then instead of always having to pay for stuff, it'd be so easy to just have some free content that you can give, and you don't always have to create it. So that was the other thing that she talked about is, and Pinterest is a great place to find some of those freebies. So like maybe it's a meal planning guide, or maybe it's a, here's a list of, I saw one today on Pinterest that was, it was for Whole30, but I'm sure there are some for 21 Day Fix too, but it was how to shop for Whole30 at Walmart. And it was like, it was perfect. It was pictures of actual products, where you can find them at Walmart, what you would choose, why you would choose this over that. Like, I don't know how many times I've explained how to pick a salsa or how to pick a pasta sauce or whatever. So it's some of that content that doesn't cost us anything, but you can use it as an incentive to kind of draw people in. And then it's easily shared as well on Pinterest. And that way, hopefully you can get, for whatever your main thing is, whether it's a like page, whether it's a blog or whatever, you can filter people into that from putting yourself out there with some of this free stuff. Because Melissa says she talked about her book that's $10. They have never promoted it. And last year it made $25,000. $25,000, and they've never promoted it ever. And part of that is name recognition from her. People just know, and they'll search, like they know that it's out there, and they'll search, and it's word of mouth and, that kind of thing. But they've never done any kind of like ad promotion or anything. And it made them $25,000 last year. Like,
Crazy.
I know, it's insane. So.
Well, I hope that kind of helped stir the pot in the mind on maybe what you could do that's a freebie that you can give people, and that you can, promote it. Say, hey, I've got this great new, whatever you want to talk about, and, create some excitement, some buzz, and something that people will share, like Ashley was saying. So if y'all need some ideas or want to kick that around, just let me know, or Ashley know. And so, the next thing I wanted to talk about was, Melissa talked about a funnel system. You want to have that funnel system. You want to pull people in for free, but then you want to make them come back for more after that freebie. And then basically that's your challenge group, or, whatever you're doing with challenge pack or a program. And then you want them to, move into that coaching role. And, it's just kind of that 1, 2, 3, pull them in, come back for more, do what I do. And I mean, I know it sounds easier said than done, but really, if you think about it, it's really those 3 steps. Some take longer than others, but if you have your freebie, you have your group or somewhere to plug them into, and then you've got coaching to teach them about and do that one-on-one with them. There you go. There's your funnel system. So, she gave a few examples of some free groups that she does. So she said, like she was doing or had done a free 2-week group. And I was like, oh, that sounds like a long group. But she said that she did a live video or a video every single day of that group, just giving them some information. And that she would record all her videos at once. So yeah, they weren't all live. I think most of them are pre-recorded, but she would sit down and do her videos, and she would change her hair or change her outfit or put her ponytail in when it was down so that it looked like she was doing it every single day when she had really pre-recorded them, and just talk about a topic a day and give everyone some valuable information every day so that when that 2-week group was over, that they all wanted to move into her paid 30-day group with the challenge pack. So, I think we all have different ideas of how long we want our free groups to go, but, I know we're all about short and sweet, but I think, if you got to a point where you said, okay, I want to do a 2-week free group, but I'm going to give you one amazing, valuable tip every single day. Bring your friends, and you just literally did a video every day and really gave them something valuable. Just if you do it right, I think that could be very valuable to people, and then move them into a challenge group after that. Make them just like, okay, I need this in my life after everything that you've just talked about. I'm so interested. That'd be a fun thing to do with another coach too. But anyway, so basically that comes down to creating a good system. And, I'm at fault for not having a good system all the time. I'm a very spontaneous person. And I just want to throw a group together when I feel like it. But, if you have a system, it's so much better. It doesn't drive you crazy, and you can duplicate it for your teams or for any coaches that you bring on. There were some really cool sites that I didn't know about. And I know we're coming up on an hour, so I'm going to wrap this up, and we can talk more about this later, anything that we talked about today. But there were sites that I did not know about that can help you create your ebook, that can help you with graphics. So I just wanted to mention a few of them to y'all, and you can go check them out. So I did not know about Fiverr.com. I guess Trista had mentioned it before, but I must have missed that. So it's Fiverr.com, and everything that costs $5. So, and I was going to share, let me share my screen real quick. I already had it pulled up. So it's basically freelancers that will do anything for $5, whether it's, pulling your logo together, getting your logo, or a graphic, or a song, anything like that. So this is the site, and if y'all want to check it out, I mean, there's all these different categories that they can help you with. So I thought that was really cool. So you're like, hey, I want a logo, and you give them information on kind of what you want that logo to be, and they'll put it together for you. So that's a cool tool. Let me move this over. Ebook. I just wanted to show you that real quick while it's up. So like, for instance, this is an ebook. Come on. Here's one on nutrition and exercise. This one's 37 pages. But just for an example, book description, want to know how to reshape your life with some easy to follow tips. This ebook is designed, blah, blah, blah. Y'all can tell where I've been shopping lately for my trip. Where is it? It's not there. There it is. It's loading. Anyway, if it doesn't load, that's fine. But you know, it's text and pictures and whatnot. So yeah, there's an introduction about nutrition and exercise. Mine would not look like that, but there's pictures and whatnot. So something that would be useful to people. I'll stop sharing. Anyway, another one was rev.com, R-E-V. And I thought this one was really cool, and Ashley and I were talking about it. They will transcribe an existing video for you, so it'll put it into text. So you could send them a video of someone. So like they were saying, for example, if Melanie Mitro has a video out there on how to board coaches or how to create your avatar, or whatever the topic is, you can send them the video and they will put all of what she says into words. We'll transcribe it for you. And then you can change out the specifics of what she said to things that you would say. Because it's public information. Those are videos on the web. And as long as you change it specifically for you, you know, just little parts of it, why recreate the wheel, right? So I thought that was pretty cool. I don't know if I'll ever really do that one, but maybe one day I will. So what was another one, Ash? There was one more.
I don't have my notebook with me. I can't remember. Those were the two.
Those are the two main ones, I think.
Yeah, there was another one that was for ebooks. I can't remember what it was, but if you're looking to do they're not free, but if you're looking to do blogs or websites or any of that kind of stuff, because I did another training not too long ago that was why every Beachbody coach needs to have a website. And it was actually really, really good, but it just talked about how easy it is to set one up through Squarespace. And I created one for the grant that I'm on for school, and it was so easy. I mean, super simple. And so it's just a place, they call it a landing page, but essentially if you are wanting people to have a place to send their email addresses, so like if you put out free content and people join a free group and you want to retain their information instead of it being like an event or a group or whatever, and you forget about them after the group's over, you can have them all follow that link and get their email address. So then the next time you're wanting to do something, you can send a mass. Kind of site. So I don't remember what else they said.
Yeah, I think that was. Can y'all hear me?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah. Sorry, I had to plug in my laptop. So anyway, those were like the main two. But basically, to wrap up the call is, learning who you're talking to and then knowing what to do to the people that you're talking to. Create free, valuable information, really hone in on you and speak to that person. And, create your system of how you want to move people through. Free, paid coach. And, like Ashley was saying, just having that ideal customer, those are your coaches. Those ideal customers are just you because they're attracted to you. And it's so fun to work with people that are like you. I mean, look at our team. You look at all these teams, and they're all so much alike, even though they have their differences. I look at all of us, and we have so many things that are in common, but we also have so many things that are different. But our team's happy. I think we're happy people. Happy attracts happy. But anyway, so I hope that helped a little bit with who to speak to when you're really trying to get out there and talk to people. Because I know it helped me. And it doesn't matter how long you're doing this, really getting down to the nitty-gritty never hurts anybody, and it helped me a lot. So do y'all have any questions? Are you good? You ready to wrap up? Yeah, you good? Sheila, you good?
Yeah, I think I'm good for the moment.
Okay. Well, I hope that helped y'all. And I will get this posted in the group, the recording. Ashley, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
I always love listening to you talk.
Well, thanks.
Look out. Like, oh, I'm going to listen to Ashley. She's so knowledgeable.
I'm off to go finish my slides.
Ooh, fun.
I'm ready for Thursday to be over.
I know you are. Well, we wish you luck.
Good luck.
Thanks.
Good luck with that.
All right, y'all.
No.
Hey, thanks so much for
Always.
being on tonight. I really appreciate it.
It was good to see y'all.
I
You too.
know. I'll talk to you soon.
Yeah, it was.
Bye.
Okay, bye.
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 Bye.